apparently we're live now. What's the crack, YouTubers? How are yous all keeping? Hopefully it's changed over. It has. I can see it there. I can see clearly now. It's working for once. We don't have any technical hitches. Hopefully they can hear you talking. Hopefully.
We're we're live now. We're
We
live
live and
now.
kicking.
I think it missed out the first couple of the first sentence, but
Does
we're on.
that
We're
well
live.
look, there has to be an issue. You know what I mean? It wouldn't be the same if there wasn't some form of technical issue. Whether
Hey, if
that
that's the worst thing we get tonight, it's a massive rip
it,
roaring
it,
success.
it's a massive improvement. Yeah, maybe 2021 is the year of no technical difficulties.
Yeah,
Keep the
believe
fingers
that when I
crossed,
see it.
and we'll see it. Yeah. So what's the crack, folks? What is the crack? And welcome to an episode of Two Bald Knobs. We haven't done one of these in
A very long time.
a very too
The
long.
last the last one was on my channel because we couldn't even remember who hosted the last one.
That's how long it's
And
been.
I was looking for it today, and I had to scroll back through quite a few videos until I found a Bald Knobs thumbnail, and I was like, "Ah, blimey, we have not done one for a while."
This is it. This is it, and we finally managed to. The planets have aligned. You've got two bald knobs in the one video, at the one place at the one time. It's like the planets have aligned. I'm telling you,
Yeah, and them other two hairy gits are nowhere to be seen.
it's grand. It's just the way I like it. You know what I mean?
Although I think
Peace
one of them's
and
looming around the
tranquility.
comment section. I've seen one looming around, one scruffy git.
One scruffy gay. Which one? I don't know which one you're talking about there. You know what
Yeah,
I
I
mean?
know it doesn't really narrow it down,
That
does
doesn't narrow it down at all. At all. So
I would say one who has trouble like holding his tongue, but that doesn't narrow
that
it
no,
down
that doesn't
either,
narrow.
does
No, that doesn't narrow it down
it?
between the lot of us at all.
That's true. That's true, actually.
So we're gonna be having a chat and working on a couple of bits and pieces. We have some gear guts miniatures
Yeah,
here. We have
I'm
I'm
working on
working
my 6 plus. I've
Phobos,
got him undercoated, based and undercoated, and I'm about to start getting the first layers of paint on him.
and then I'm working on. I'm gonna be throwing more of a wash on gear guts. Look how big he is. He's fucking huge. I'm
Yeah,
gonna be
he's
throwing wash on him, and then I'm gonna throw
fucking
some
massive.
more colors onto the Scarnier miniature and see if we can actually get them painted up this year. You know what I mean? That would be helpful. That would be nice. You know what I mean? It's like lads, you know when you paint the miniatures, you know yourself.
Yeah, I do apologise, Gear Guts. I know it's been
Sorry.
a long time, but look, I'm getting started.
We're
I'm getting
sorry.
started. I'm not going to make any kind of promises on when he'll be finished, but I'm making a start. That's something, you know.
I think that's
Baby steps.
my 2021 resolution is not to make any promises because I'm terrible at keeping them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna promise I'm gonna paint 1,500 points of orcs, or I'm not gonna promise 3,000 points, or promise this and promise that. I'm just going to do what I can do.
That's
Yeah.
it. That's it.
And hope for
I'll
the
tell
best.
you what, mate. I'll tell you what. You relieve yourself of that pressure. It's nice. It's nice. I've been doing a bit of all sorts at the moment. I've got grot tanks I'm working on. I've got some knobs I'm working on. I've got a big mech here that I've also sprayed. Who I'm going to be working on. Gorkanaut still being painted. I've got my 6 plus, and I just I'm keep looking at my squig off. I'm just tinkering about, really, jumping from one project to the next, and not making huge progress in anything. But then also at the same time, I'm not worrying about it. I'm just, having
Well,
fun.
you've managed to get your 1,500 points done, haven't you?
Yeah.
You've got that under your. You don't have to worry then. You can just chill
Mm.
and enjoy it. Savor the moment, Steve-O. You know, bask in the glory of being the first of
Yeah.
us to finish it.
I'll tell you what, you fuckers are lucky it was me that won. I'll tell you, because I don't know if I don't know if some of the others would have been quite as humble as me. There's been a little bit of both.
I have
a little bit
absolutely
of jabbing.
no idea who you're insinuating with said comments. None
Well, he's in the
whatsoever.
comments. You know who you are. You're watching. You get. You know you'd have been giving us shit for months if you'd finished first.
Oh, stop. Stop.
I'm looking. I'm just waiting to see his response. He's there. He's there.
This is it.
Who have we got in here? We've got There he is, Dreadwise saying humble as if. Drunken
if.
Orcs here. Rivets and Dackers in here. Scotto's in here.
A good few of the boys.
I tell you what, as well. I was looking at my war boss, and I'm like, I kind of know what colours I'm doing him and stuff. And I'm like, right, so what bit will that bit be and everything? I'm sort of figuring out the colours, and I think, hang on a minute, if I just put my t-shirt on, then I can just glance at my t-shirt and see what colours I'm supposed to be using. So I'm basically going to try and match those colours. I could give him a red power claw and give him the black and white checks and the yellow shoulder pads and that. So it's made it nice and easy for me to figure out my colour scheme.
This is it. I think that's half the problem I was having with my war boss was deciding what way to do the colours. Like the Gear Gust miniature, I seem to be happy enough to steam ahead with it. I'm just sort of going with the flow. I was like, oh, I want rust, and then after rust, I was thinking to myself, I'll stip it on. I'll do metals, and then I'll paint it up, kind of in a bad moon color or something like that to be the actual Gear Goods
Yeah,
miniature. So like his colors are already established, so it's not as difficult for me. Do you know what I mean? I don't have that indecision of what colors will I use or what camo
that's it.
schemes.
Half the battle is figuring out your color scheme, isn't
Yeah,
it? And it stumps you, doesn't it? Because especially if you kind of, even if you know what color, you still then you've got the next bit of like what shade of color and how about
or what patterns and all this type of stuff
yeah,
that you
and
want to
what
do.
recipe am I going to use to get that finished product? And you've got to kind of figure all that out first before because it just kind of, you don't want to waste time painting it on and going, no, I'm not happy with that, I want to repaint that. So
And then wanting the strip miniatures and all that type of mucking about.
mm.
Yeah, that could sort of knock the motivation if that happens, which can happen. It can happen, but
It definitely can happen. It always happens.
can happen to the best of us. But yeah, no, it's I found the freedom of painting this guy up a bit more when I haven't been distracted with other things as per usual. You know yourself.
I certainly do, mate. I certainly do. Oh, that sounds a bit empty. Running out of green skin here. I think I'll start with his skin. Unusually, I'm going to come at him from looking at him. I think I'm going to tackle him in a bit of a different way. I'm going to start with the skin, I think. Get some green skin on him because they seem like the hardest to reach bits on him, really.
Yeah,
Around his
see,
arms and that.
I went with like stippling on the rust colors first myself because I knew it would be the messiest process, and then I blocked in some of the skin, and then I'm like, I think because I want to stipple the yellows on because I've had coil on, and I've
Well,
watched
that's a
his
good way
painting
because that's
technique.
exactly how he paints his
Yeah,
stuff,
yeah,
isn't it, with the stippling? So it's a
yeah.
good way to really match his color scheme.
Now I don't think it matches it 100%, but it's sort of in the spirit of how he paints his stuff up. So
Paying homage to it.
that's it. You know yourself. Paint
Oh,
homage. So how did the holidays go? Were you good? Did Santa Claus bring you anything nice, Stevo?
yeah, well, I think I showed the bits off tonight on the War Boss show that we did. If anyone didn't see the War Boss show, I'm sure everyone watching this saw the War Boss show. We did a
Should hope
Christmas
so.
special. We did we did a Christmas special, and then we did our regular show, which happened to be on New Year's Day. So yeah, we've done them, and I sort of showed off the bits I've got there. Not a great deal of stuff, but I didn't ask for a great deal of stuff because I've got more than enough to be getting on with. I don't need any new stuff. I did purchase my Git Stomper, so I'll receive him in about 6 months, according to GW. So they'll be frantically
6
getting that
months.
sprue package. Well, 120 working days or up to, I guess. So
You mean this guy? This guy here? The boss?
yeah, that's the fella. That's the fella.
Will I glue them together? What do you reckon? Or are we supposed to be painting? Ah, we'll do a bit of everything. Sure, why not?
Yeah, do what you fancy if you fancy it.
I'm not rubbing salt in the wound here.
You,
I'm just
you,
like,
you,
I'll
you've
build it.
started on your Gear Guts miniatures. I haven't, so I think if I don't start soon, Gear Guts is just going to be getting a flight over and bloody standing over my desk watching me painting. You're not moving until he's painted, right?
We got some painting. Well, the way things are going, we're gonna have plenty of time to be doing painting anyway. So,
Oh, yeah, don't.
yourself. We won't go there, but we all know. We all know. Yeah. Oh, we've even got rules. Jesus, I didn't know that.
Well, they're just standard knob rules, aren't they?
Yeah, 3 plus, 5 plus. Yeah, 5, 4,
I think
3.
that's confused a few people. A lot of people have got a little bit excited thinking
What's
he's a
yeah?
he's a named character with special rules and stuff. He's just a knob.
What if they change the symbols? They don't have like move.
Yeah, I
Uh,
noticed that. I see. I'm looking on your screen, seeing that. I've never seen that
yeah.
before.
What's the
It's
crack with this?
unusual, isn't it?
Move, weapon skill, ballistic skill, strength.
That's a good way to complicate things.
I don't even know what that's supposed to be.
Exactly. There
Wounds,
you go. That's
attacks,
that's not
leadership,
that's.
save. What's
I
this one
hope
supposed
I
to be?
I
Toughness. This
do
is
hope
probably
that
toughness, I think.
that's not a sign of the codexes, is it? Is
I
that what
have
they're
it.
doing with them now? I bet you it fucking is.
Your guess is as good as mine, mate.
Anyone who's got any of the new codexes for the other factions, guys, can you tell us in the comments? Is that what they're doing now?
Is this
That
what
they
they're doing to the
replaced
stat bar,
the
or
nice?
is this a once off?
Maybe it's just
Like
for the
it's
in the
getting
packet
spooky.
things or something. I don't know, but
What is the crack? Right, okay, so I'll throw him together for the laugh. Sure, why not? Wasn't expecting to do a live build. So, €25 well spent for this one sprue. Oh yeah.
I was quite impressed. I did a video saying about the news of him being available online the other day, and in the video, because I hadn't ordered him at the time of recording, I was sort of saying about, trouble is you got to pay like the postage and stuff. And I think it was Rivets and Daka that pointed it out to me that he went on and bought one himself, and he's like, free postage, £20 and up now, free postage on GW. So I was like, fair play, that's
Oh, that's
better.
good. Yeah, yeah, that's
I'm
good.
sure it used to be like 50 or something, or maybe even
Yeah,
more.
I can remember. I can remember something along that lines. I do remember it going something that way.
Because I even had some people pointing out to me that he is available on some of the discount sites and that. And I'm like, yeah, but the trouble is, by the time you've paid the postage, you're actually not saving anything. You're actually spending more. So it was actually, because I was just buying him, it was cheaper to get him direct from GW. Obviously, if you're buying him along with a load of other stuff, then you can still save some money. But yeah, that was good to see. So he's still on sale at the moment uh, from the 4th. So he's still got a good four more days, I think, on sale. So that's good. So everyone who wants a chance to get one can get one, and stop them dirty scalpers making a killing on them. 50 quid he's going for on eBay, the dirty bastards. You evil bastards.
Ah,
So
no.
yeah, that's music to my ears where they've put him on and then boom, GW put him online, and the trouble is I'm sure a few people won't realise and still pay the stupid money.
Ah, it's just the way of things. I try not to get upset about that type of stuff. I don't really get upset about it. I'm like, if someone is willing to pay that money, then they'll pay the money for it.
Yeah.
It's just the way of it.
Mm-mm-mm.
So I'll let that wash dry on himself, and I'll get building.
So I see we have another sneak peek. Another rumor engine pick's been doing the rounds. Lots of heavy rumors going around that we
Rockets, wasn't it?
potentially got.
I
Yeah,
was watching. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Rockets. I was like, hmm.
everyone's getting a bit excited about new tank busters possibly on the way.
Well, we are well overdue for some new tank busters, maybe in plastic. Then that'd be nice. Squig has a cuddly bits of Scotto Gear Guts Mech Shop. The Marine book is not like that, so there will not. That will not be it. It's so that they
Good.
don't have to print it in every language. Okay, yeah.
That makes sense. That makes sense because obviously, yeah, because usually you would get several pages of the same thing, wouldn't you, in every different language, So yeah, that makes a lot of sense actually.
There you go. See, don't
Yeah,
trust a
as long as they
pretty
don't do that in
face.
the codexes, because that'd just be.
Be like,
And you'd
what?
get used to it very quickly, but
What's this symbol mean? Ah, it's this, this,
yeah.
this. Really
I
weird.
get that enough from people just sort of trying to figure out what the symbols mean with fast attack or elites or heavy or whatever.
This is true. That can happen as well. It can seem like a lot initially. I think we sort of, for established players, you can take that for granted. Just
Totally.
how much there is to learn when you're getting into the hobby initially.
Yeah, I've found that when I've been, trying to teach people the game, and it's you can kind of steam ahead and not realize that the basics, or the basics that you think are basic, is still very new to them, and yeah, it can be a challenge.
Get interesting, all right. But I enjoy showing someone because it sort of brings back the nostalgia for yourself while you're teaching somebody else at the same
Mm.
time, you know?
Yeah, it's an exciting sort of stage to be at, isn't it? You're almost kind of envious of them, like, oh, you've got, this whole world about to open up to you,
Yeah, you'll be like, oh, and this is
Just
this and that's that, and this is a battle wagon. They're like,
yeah.
oh, you think that's cool, mate? Wait until you check this out. You know, you'll show someone affection or whatever, and then you'll dig out some of your old stuff, and this is what a battle fortress looked like. Look at this, and they're like, oh, you know.
Yeah, I think I've taught a few people. I've taught my brother the game, and that was a pleasurable experience because although he never played 40K, he's played loads of other RPGs and board games, and he's a massive nerd, probably even a bigger nerd than me, and that's saying something. And he's into all kinds of things. He plays a lot of D&D, so teaching him the game, he caught on incredibly quickly. Like playing him, it was, yeah. I sort of said, right, well, that's how, that's your ballistic skill. He said, oh, it's like this in D&D, and oh yeah, that's like this in D&D. So he caught on very
So
quick.
you
It was
had
very
points
easy
of
for him.
reference. Yeah, yeah.
Very much so. And so he by the end of the first game, he kind of had it under wraps. But then I've had other people tried to teach, and whether it's me being a bad teacher or them being a bad student or a little bit of both, or maybe they weren't quite sort of convinced that it was really for them yet. I don't know what it was, but it just didn't really quite happen. It's
Well, this
I've
is it.
kind of learned that, if anyone's ever going to want to play, they have to first show me some real enthusiasm and interest in it before I'm gonna, don't waste my time, basically.
You've been born, says you. So,
Yeah, if you want to get into it, like if they're willing to do a lot of the research themselves and that, and if they've come around and they've been doing a lot of reading up and they've kind of got a gist of it, and then I'm like, okay, yeah, they really want to do it because they're taking the time to learn for themselves. Then I'm all for it. But yeah, I'm not going to waste my time because it's a pig setting it all up, setting the board up and the scenery and everything, and then gets on around. They're not really into it. It's like, well, don't waste my time. I
well,
would be no work good at working in the GW, man.
this is it though. You know, I think like there's a lot of guys apparently who want to get their girlfriends into playing 40k. When I was talking to Tanya, the War Mistress, shout out to Tanya. Hey
Mm.
Tanya, and we were talking about it, and
The winner of December.
the winner of December, fair play to her. We were talking about that, and pretty much coming to the conclusion that they have to have some form of curiosity themselves. You're not going to, if you try and force something onto your other half or your kids or your mates that they don't have an interest in, they'll just, you know what I mean? They'll build a
Yeah,
resistance to it. They won't.
she's 100% right on that.
Mm.
You can't get someone into it. You can introduce someone to it and then see how they react to it and how they, and they'll either sort of pick up on it straight away and go like, oh, or they'll be like, if you're having to do any kind of convincing, stop. Just don't waste your time. Don't waste their time. Just, you know.
Yeah. See if they have some natural curiosity for it. And maybe sometimes initially they don't, and then after a while they're like, oh, yeah, I've been watching you paint your miniatures, Steve O. Any chance
Yeah.
I can paint one too? That's what happened with me. My missus was like, can I paint a miniature? I'm like, yeah, which one do you want to paint? There you go. You can have this. Fire away. Now she
Yeah,
wants to paint her own.
a mate of mine, I tried getting him into it, and he was, to be fair, showing a lot of interest and stuff. And I tried getting him into it, and we tried doing a game of that. When it got to the actual gaming stage of it, I don't know what it was. He just couldn't get his head around the mechanics and stuff. I mean, he's never played anything like it before, and so he just he couldn't quite get his head around it. But his missus showed a big interest in it, and she really enjoyed the sort of the playing the game side of things. But they've started. He bought a few bits over Christmas and that, and she started doing some painting and has no interest in the painting side of things at all. He quite enjoys building them and painting them, but she just enjoys the playing. So I
A
said to her, well, there you go.
perfect
Maybe
couple.
she plays and you paint the stuff for her. There you go. That's probably the way to go.
Yeah, happy days. That's what I should do. I should get the missus to paint me orcs for me. Yeah. You're on to a winner there, Steve-O. You're
There you
on
go.
to a winner. If we can
But
convince your missus to put a brush to the orcs, we'd be laughing.
yeah. I said to her the other night, actually, I said, you'd be really good at painting miniatures, actually. She was like, I don't think I would. I said, you would. You're doing all your eyelashes and that. The amount she has to wear them like magnify glasses and tiny little lashes at each individual lash that she's gluing onto. I said, the detail you're working at there and getting them looking perfect. And she's a real perfectionist as well. I said, you've got that perfect mentality and eye for detail already there. I said, I think you'd kind of be a natural at it.
Steve-O's looking at the dexterity she uses, and he's
That's
like,
it. Like, yeah,
this
we
woman's
could make
capable
use
of
of
painting
this.
eyeballs over here, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Are you any
Fine
good at
motor
removing
neural
mold
skills.
lines?
Yeah.
There's a box of bodies and legs and that. Crack on with
Knock
them.
yourself out. Oh, speaking of boxes of bodies and bits, when we went mad and bought like all those Saga the Beast box sets. What did I buy? Like 3 box sets, and I sold off the Space Wolf parts and whatever else. I only recently was like, where did I put all the Mega Nubs? So I've a fat stack of them there that I'm looking that need to be built at some stage. But I'm just like, I could build them, not build them. Don't know what to do with so much stuff. Do you ever get lost with it? The hobby.
Yeah, definitely.
It's like what to do
Definitely.
next.
Oh yeah, 100%. The Mega Knobs is a fun kit because you can do all kinds with that. And then obviously, like every alt player, you've probably got loads of standard knob kits around, so you can have a bit of fun mashing them together and coming up with some and fun making some big mechs with KFFs and stuff. You got all the cool bits in there to do all that kind of stuff with. So it's a fun kit to fuck about with. You got all kill saws and combi weapons and lots of good parts in the Mega Knob set for doing tank busters and that as well.
Yeah, there's some
All
good
those
ones.
little rocket bits and that, and
Some really good ones. I like. I think my favorite kit for making your own tank busters from scratch out of boys kit would be like the flyer kit. If you don't build the burner bomber,
yeah.
all those rockets.
Oh, they're so useful.
It's like there you go. There's 6 tanks busters right there, me. You know what I mean?
The great thing about the ones that comes in the Mega Knob set is they've kind of got the sort of the shielding on them because they're built to be the underslung rocket. So it comes with that bit. You just file the little tab off, and you can stick that you can make combi shooters with it. You can stick it on the end, and it's got the little shielding bit. So yeah, it gives it a sort of different look. But yeah, those burner rockets, I used a good few of those on my tank busters for sure.
Well, there you go. If you buy the Mega Nobs box set and you buy one of the flyer kits, you pretty much have enough spare parts if you don't do rockets on either of them for a full squad of tank
Oh,
busters.
totally. Yeah. You got all the rockets you need. 100%.
Oh, the rockets.
Yeah, it's an expensive kit, the Mega Knob set. So I think to get the value out of it, you've really
Just got to
once
squeeze
you've
every
built your
penny.
Mega Knobs, use all those extra bits because it's one of the kits that you get a lot of leftovers with because it's one of the few kits as well that comes with every option. And not every option in limited numbers. You can have them all with the type of weapons you want. Like the knobs kit, say you wanted all your knobs to have combi scorchers, you only get one combi scorcher in there. So, for every 5 knobs, you only get one combi scorcher or 2 combi rockets. Whereas the Mega Knob set comes with 3 of everything, 3 sets of kill saws, 3 sets of, custom shooters or combi shooters or whatever. So it's a cool set for that. And the KFFs are always handy. If you make 3 mega knobs, you've got your KFF in there. Stick that on the back of a knob, make him into a big mech with custom force field. You've got bits like that.
Do you bother magnetizing your mega knobs? Because I think they're a
I don't
prime kit for.
magnetize anything.
Normally, I don't bother myself, but I do have magnets. As I was thinking about, I was thinking specifically with the mega knobs, especially with their multiple the fists that they have. I was thinking if you countersunk a magnet into the forearms going into their claws, you could make them modular. But then it's like, yeah, I can see.
Do you know what? With a lot of them, you don't even need to on the mega knobs because they've got that peg system.
This is true,
So
yeah.
the actual
If you get the right size
power claws, they've got a little peg, so you can literally just swap them out. It's a lovely kit for that. Real good kit for that.
Yeah, it's really nice in that regard. It is. Whoever designed it put some foresight into it in that regard. I think I've had issues though with like miniatures falling and the peg will break off. If it hits at the wrong angle, it'll break off in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, magnets would probably be the better option over long term.
Dreads. The War Mistress is here. Hey, Tanya. Dread's like, I do it with mine, mate. Once you've done it, it's done, and so superior. Of course, Dread. Of course.
Well, Dread has to do it because he drops a miniature every hour.
He was proper heartbroken when he dropped that crot tank. I don't blame him.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
Proper heartbroken.
Almost as heartbroken as you when you dropped your walk.
Don't bleed. And you were talking about, I was only saying about bleeding, about the pegs breaking off. I kept them modular, so I didn't glue his arm in, right?
Right.
And the plastic peg that comes out of the arm, sure didn't it snap off? And it's still in there. It's like,
bummer.
So I'm gonna have to glue it because I was leaving this. I magnetized his legs to the base and I left it so it was just the pegs, so I could transport him. But even the bleeding, the doors came off. This other arm broke. I was like, here.
It's only supposed to blow the bloody doors off.
Yeah. Doing well, Tanya. Doing well. We were only talking about you there. Good things, of course. Good things, of course. Yeah, it's
I had to go. I had a tough time choosing. I mean, I had quite an easy time choosing the winner of that competition, but yeah, I was only supposed to choose 2, but they ended up doing 3 because I couldn't choose between the second and third. It was, I mean, there were many more people in that December competition up for contention. There were just so many good entries.
There's so many, yeah, it was great. I thought there was so many good ones. Now, of course, me being me, I never got around to finishing mine. Surprise, surprise.
Well, you did better than me, mate. I didn't even attempt to enter.
There was some absolutely cracking conversions. My favorite one, I just think theme-wise, was the Dread one. Judge Dread on the bike.
Yes,
Dread.
I was only just watching. I see Drunken Orc. He's in the chat. Actually, I was watching his video earlier today about his Jackie Can and his Judge Dread, and yeah, clever little putting a Death Dread on a bike was
So many. Even Tanya was saying, yeah, there were so many good entries. She was shocked she won, but they really were so many good.
It was
entries.
difficult to treat. Like it was on some of the miniatures. I was really impressed with like the conversions and the kit bashing on display, and that was cool. Then other ones, it was just beautiful, standard Death Dreads, but just painted really nice. I think it was I can't remember who it was. It was he second or third? One of the Death Dreads that was just painted in a very Blood Axey kind of theme.
Oh, was it Gars?
Yes, that's it.
Yeah, Gar does.
And that one got in there just because I loved that paint job. I was like, it looked really good. I like that kind of. It just had a really nice paint job on it. I was really impressed with that.
His army's cracking. You should see his army, man.
I bet. Is it all painted in that same kind of scheme? Is it?
He's used different schemes previously, but he's got a really nice sort of like green and brown camouflage. But it's some similar tones. It's Like Gar's army is cracking, man. Absolutely cracking. Really good conversions and stuff. But we were asking him about the paint job if he'd make a tutorial.
Oh
Um,
yeah, that would be cool. Yeah, I really liked it. I was very impressed. I watched Brack's video on it. He said, "What was it?" Brack said. He said, "When I first saw it, he said I didn't think it was painted." I'm like, "Oh, burn, Brack!"
oh, shots fired.
Oh, that's one of my winners. Do you mind? Not painted, indeed. He said, like I think he said that. It's old man eyes. You see.
It's funny though. I had a mate back in the day when we used to play fifth edition, and we had the same thing. I think he used to paint these Imperial Guard tanks. I think it was like Fortress Grey, and it was like a
Mm.
shade of grey that was pretty much nearly sprue color. So he'd prime it, he'd put this base coat on, and he'd add a little bit of detail. But from a distance, you'd think like, did he? Did you bother painting that, mate? It's like, yeah,
He's probably being turned away from like tournaments and stuff. Sorry, mate, 3 colours minimum. Sling your hook.
yeah, yeah. But I have. I think that was even back in the day before washes. Probably was. That's gas. It really is. And then we have contrast now. It's mad.
I
Absolutely
see.
mad.
Are you gonna enter the squig challenge?
I might show me hat in the ring. I've a concept that I've got that I think would be interesting to do. I'm pretty sure other people have done it, but I won't promise anything spectacular. But
Right,
I've
that's it. Stick to your New Year's resolution. No
yeah, no
promises.
promises, no promises from Scar. I've a concept, I've an idea in mind. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
Trouble for me is competitions. It's always seems to be the timing is always wrong for me. Whatever the whatever the thing is. I mean, I've got, and I can't get away with pretending I've done them either because I've videoed all my work as it's gone along. So everyone, like, hang on a minute, you did a video on that 6 months ago, you fucker. You can't enter that. So like, I've done bomb squigs and stuff, obviously for me tank busters. But I mean, I do have old Norzilla over there. He is wanting a paint job, but I'm not ready to start him because if I start on him, he's just going to add to the unfinished projects as I'm already working on several at once here.
Well, I've seen some Nozillas painted up really nicely. Did you
Yeah, I have. I
see
think Pokes is
Pokes?
the
Yeah,
thing.
yeah,
Yeah,
Pokes one was really nice, man. He did the blending on the underneath. I like when squigots are painted up like that, where they've got the sort of the lighter underbelly,
that's
and then
exactly
they
what
have
I
the
want to do.
yeah
But
their
I haven't
skin
just
tone,
picked out the exact sort of scheme and that yet. I've got ideas for him on how I want him to look, but
and it's blended in. I was like, yep, looks the part.
I
Looks
like
the pieces.
painting skin and stuff. I think I enjoy painting skins and textures like that more than I enjoy painting armor and stuff. Actually, a lot of the time.
Well, I'm the other way around. I prefer painting armor and uh, items of clothing like belt buckles and stuff more than I do skin for some reason.
What's your favorite part? Like on a say like an orc boy, you're painting up an orc boy. What's your favorite part of him to paint? What's the bit that you actually sort of enjoy doing? For me,
Um,
it's teeth and claws. Whenever I'm painting their teeth and the claws, I don't know why. I just really enjoy that bit.
I,
It's so easy to do,
I, I, I
and it's
don't.
just that it just once I've painted the teeth on and the claws, I'm like, oh yeah, he's starting to look good.
See, my problem is I pick out the belt buckles and whatever else, but that's an absolute pain. But I think the favorite part for me, even though I don't really like painting skin, is painting their arms because it's such
Hmm.
a prominent part of the model. So once you put a bit of green on that, it's like, oh, it looks like an orc now.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Whereas I find like painting their shirts and then the belts and stuff, because they got so many belt buckles and whatever else on them, I find that very fiddly, especially if you're painting a load of them. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like a flag
All
of
right, he's
flame.
coming along. There you go. There you go.
What's he saying? Poke. The
Gear
skin
guts.
on the Squiggle was the most fun thing I've ever painted. Yeah, yeah, you were saying, man. You were saying, Poke.
I was just showing gear guts, mate. There you go, mate. He's got some paint on him. It's getting there, you know. He's getting some skin on him. Give me some skin, brother.
definitely. Bit of green. Once you get a bit of green on them, they start to look the part, even if it's just the base color. Even just doing the base color on all of your army, like the difference that makes. You're picking out your metals, your base letter colors, the
Yeah,
green skin. You know, even just doing that part.
I think even a half finished miniature looks better on the table than a miniature with nothing on it, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely. But you can even if you're like painting for a tournament or whatever else, when you need your three colors, or you're gonna put your base colors on and then a wash, and then maybe dry brush a bit of this and a bit of that. You can always go back to finishing them more if you want. Says the man with an unpainted army mostly, you know. But
Yeah, you're not far off though, mate. You're not far, you are right near the finish line is in sight for you, isn't it?
it's like I got within sight of the finish line and decided to have a tea break or something.
Yeah,
I'll put me feet up, sure. You know yourself.
yeah, I do.
Some of them are saying Gubbins gets a saying, of course the bad moon likes painting teeth.
Yeah, they don't
Fair,
always get
fair
paint your
comment.
teeth color either. You got to paint the odd one gold.
You can't say the same about the Blood Axe. Painting camouflage is the bane of my existence, but it looks amazing when it's done. But boy, Jesus, it's like, how can I make this task of painting 30 orcs more difficult for myself? Haha, camouflage. How can we make that harder again? Different types of camouflage on the same miniature.
Yeah, I've got quite used to painting yellow now. I've got little bit quicker at it. I mean, which wasn't hard. But reds seem to be something I fear. I don't know why. I always have trouble with reds.
But just take what you did with your yellow and just shift it to red.
Mm.
Like, that's what I would have thought. I'm surprised. I thought it'd be a.
I don't find the army painter reds. Uh, yeah, I don't know. I've got a little bit better. What I've started doing. I've been using skeleton bone as a base coat for doing some of the lighter colours and things, and that seems to work really well. That's what I've done on my Gorkanaut. I've painted him up all bone colour first, and then I'll go over that with yellow, and I can do the same thing with the red. But yeah, red just I don't know, even more so than the yellow seems to be it get good coverage with the reds I'm using.
So is it you're more hindered by the fact that you're having issues with coverage with the army painter paints more so
Probably
than
just probably
painting
just I
yourself?
would say the reds of the iron paint are probably the colour that I'm a bit like not overly impressed with, and it's the colour I was sort of like, oh god, I dread doing that. But luckily, most of the time for me, the reds is just like cables and eyes and things. So eyes are fine because it's just a dot of red and job done. But if it's a larger area, then I'm like, oh god, this is going to be a pain in the ass. Just give several coats.
The coverage on the GW ones is actually good. It's just a pity about the price on the pots. I think you've said
Yeah,
that yourself as well.
actually used one of my GW paints earlier. I've got some Abaddon Black when I'd sprayed this fella yesterday, but obviously there's a few bits the spray didn't get to, so I was just going over him again. And I was like, oh, I might as well use that up. Cracked it open. I'm like, oh, it's already looking a little bit dry, so I might as well use it. Might as well get some use out of it before it turns to chalk.
The drunken orc is saying he used to have problems painting things red too, but now what he does is he paints them blue instead. Problem solved.
There you go. That's the answer, isn't it?
I suppose if you're really having problems with primary colors, just go guff. All of your problems solved. Just go guff.
There are times when I've been
Black.
painting my army and I've gone, why couldn't I have been Goth or Snakebite? My life would be so much fucking easier. Because the yellow is one of the last colours I usually put on them. I paint up all their like brown. They've got a lot of brown like trousers and tops and stuff, and then I put like the yellow armor panels and that on them. But just at that stage before I put the yellow on, I'm like looking at them like, it just looks like a snake bite right now. I could just stick with that.
It's funny you
Uh,
say that because when I had to change the belt color on me Blood Axe boys because I had them very sort of muted, natural tones of greys and
mhm.
stuff, and I had used the Mornfang brown for the belt colors for the leather. They looked like super snake bite, so I had to change that to I changed the belt color to. Ooh, try not to knock over me miniature. I had to change the belt color to Dryad Bark to a darker tone, just to sort of tone it down a bit. Cause yeah, man, they look like super snake boy. Obviously, before I do camouflage on them, I just give them their base coats of greys and greens and stuff, and then just come back to it after the fact.
You know, I still think I might do. I might make my slugger chopper boys snake bites. I haven't decided yet. If one day I ever end up throwing any paint on them, because they don't have enough DACA for me. So
Well, there's no harm in having a few different clans.
I haven't
You
I
know what I mean?
haven't even rebased my slugger chopper boys. They're all still on the 25s.
I won't be rebasing me, boys. I don't
I
care.
know you won't.
I don't
But
care. There's no
it,
way.
it shows how much love I've got for them. I'm like they're not even in the cases I made for my army. They're still in the old shitty old fucking GW travel case. Like they're just slung in there.
The travel case. Which one?
It's like the proper old school one that's got like the eggshell foam in it.
Oh, yeah, yeah. The one from the
And it
90s.
just and it's got
Where it's
like I
like,
think
sorry,
I've got like
splits in
60
half,
slugger chopper boys.
and then it's the
Yeah, you open it
plastic.
up and then
Yeah.
it's got the little tabs you pull out and open it up. So I've got like each side's got like 30 slugger chopper boys in each side basically. And I bring them out for like big games when I want the numbers and that, but don't often use them.
These are second-hand slugger chopper boys, Eddie. I love when that happens when there's like a big apocalypse game and people are looking to,
They bring out everything, yeah.
bring out everything
They're
out of the
mostly
cupboard.
snap fit. They're mostly Black Reach ones. They're
Oh,
they're
they're not too bad. They're still alright.
there's a few of like the current boys kits in there mixed in with them, but they're the vast majority of them. I'd say about 50 of them. 50 of the 60 are probably the snap fit ones, and they're just there to bulk out the numbers. And they'll either be snake bite sort of mercenaries, or they'll be just bad moon boys that are like at the bottom rung of the ladder. They'll be like bad moon youths. As the shooter boys will be the ones with all the best gear. So I tend to on the shooter boys give them a little bit more of the armor plating than that, because originally when Ard boys were good, I used to play my shooter boys as Ard boys, and then my slugger chopper boys they'd have the shit, so they'd all have the 6+ save and the crappy
So they
little
wouldn't.
slugger.
Yeah, I used to save up the plates myself for an Our Boys squad, and I
Mm,
had them as I think it was a Slugger Chopper Boys squad. That was 12 strong, and I used to put them in a truck. And
yeah,
the soakage, man, they soaked up some firepower, like they really did. Between
4+
them,
save is beautiful on boys, man.
oh yeah,
Beautiful.
four plus save on Orc Boys. Between them and like a unit of 10 knobs with a 4+ save, and you'd send them either side of the battlefield. So me and the mate used to play Imperial Guard. I'd have to focus down one or the other of them. You know what I mean? And it was glorious. So it was absolutely glorious.
Yeah. We'll do it. We get our 4+ Ard boys back. That'd be good.
Yeah, I'd like to be able to take them as even just something that's not tied to stratagems or a specific clan. I'd like to see more
Do you know what?
options brought back
I
in.
would use them now if they were only 1 CP, but the fact they made them 2 CP was bollocks.
Too much.
2 CP to make them a 5+ save. Yeah, it was fucking so much better stuff. Like spend 1 CP and make them Scar Boys.
Hmm.
It's so much better if you're Goths, of course.
I think this was the thing with some of them. The cost of some of the stratagems was just astronomical. I found in the orcs, but then this is the thing. Like they might be updated by now. Which the game changes so quickly now.
Yeah.
It really does change so quickly. It's crazy.
The better option now I mean, Bad Moons can actually get 4+ Ard boys now, because you can do this. You can make them Ard boys, and then you can use the Bad Moon psychic power gleaming gear to buff them up an extra one, and then you can have 4+ boys. but I never use it on that because I use my gleaming gear on my vehicles, like my Death Dreads and my cans. It's such a good psychic power just to suddenly make your mob of killer cans a 2+ save. It's fucking lovely.
Mhm.
Yeah, the good old Saga of the Beast brought some beautiful buffs to our faction.
Yeah, I was impressed with the book. I never got around to using it, and
I'd struggle without it now, to be honest. It's become such a part of my. It's just so many auto includes in there.
this is it.
Hopefully, a lot of that stays and gets folded into the new codex. I do hope
Yeah,
so.
take the good bits out of it and
Yeah, definitely.
fold it in with the rest of the stuff. That'd be that would be good. I think.
Oh, I've got a little crack on his arm that's come.
I don't think you'd find many orc players giving out if that was sort of folded into the codex itself. I don't know what do you want to see in the new codex. If you just want to
Cool.
talk
That'll
about the
get some
codex section.
interactivity on the video, and it that'll get the comments going.
Well, I'm just curious because I think we all have different ideas of it. Like
Mm.
I'm not playing the game at the moment because we all know the big C word, and yeah, I've my attention's being focused on other games that I've been playing online. But yeah, so I'm not in the loop at the moment in regards to like what rules and the meta and what's changing and updating. So like what ideas do people have for the new codex? What would you like to see? What rules would you like to see updated and that sort of thing, or what units refreshed and rebooted that we're seeing this rocket pack slash ammo run slash could be anything, man. I thought at one point it might be like a bit of a tank hammer, or it might be like an ammo run for a tank busties, or it might even be like something hanging off of a bomb squig.
I just hope they don't mess with the stuff that works. I think I, I'm in sort of no rush for it really because the codex and the saga of the beast book combined, you can make some really good lists with what you got in there, and you can there's lots of options, the custom jobs and the buffs to the various the war boss and the big mech and the various stratagems that you there's lots of little lovely combinations you can come up with, especially with like the characters like your war boss and big mech. You can give them the biggest boss thing to buff their stats up, and then you can give them a warlord trait, and then you can give them shiny gubbins, and they all stack on top of each other. And then the war gear that you give them, you can make like a really brutal powerhouse of like a war boss and stuff. And I just they've given us that shit. Don't take it away from us, because it's good shit, and
Giving
it's
us the shiny toys, we want to keep them. With our powers combined, you too can make a decent war boss.
It's certainly better than the book that came before it. That fucking Vigilus book that gave us pretty much fuck all other than a souped up shock attack gun, which was about the only thing really worthwhile in that whole fucking book.
Well, it all depends. Daka Flack of Flame is saying he hopes the biggest boss gets brought over to the new codex. Geargots is saying rebalancing of our weapons, better stratagems so we have more options. Actual custom clan rules. That's Gearguts. Scott is saying he hopes they keep the prophecy stuff. Most of us haven't even gotten to use them. Yeah, I'm in that
Yeah,
boat, Scott. I haven't even gotten to use the stuff. Tanya was saying cheaper grots, please.
yeah, yes, please.
I'm with
Yes,
you on that one, Tanya.
please.
I'm definitely with you on that one. 5 point grots. How
Yeah,
much?
drop them.
It's like, yeah, when someone tells you that grots are like 5 points, it's like you pick up some. You go into a store you've never been in before, like a corner shop or something like that, and you go to pay for something, and it's like maybe you're going to get a bottle of water and you think it's a quid, and they're charging you like £3.50 or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? You're in a corner shop in a well-to-do part of London or something.
yeah. One of those items that you like when they say you go, how much? Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I'll leave it.
you do a double take. Now you're all right, mate. I think I'll leave them
Yeah,
at home. It's
yeah.
grand.
I'll leave the boys in the basket. The grots you can put back on the shelf. Thank you very much.
This is it. Judah said he got one. I got me one for Christmas. My dad gave it to me, though I was there when he bought it. Oh, the Git Stomper. Yeah, it's a cool miniature. I like it. Rivet's saying he had to get my Git Stomper online from GW. Who knows when it will arrive? Well, you're in the same boat as poor Steve over there, and let's be honest, you'll probably have yours painted before this one, so there is that.
I'm just happy to know that he's coming. That I've got one. Basically, I'm in a rush to get one. I'm just happy to know that I will have one.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, once you're safe in the knowledge that you're gonna get one at some point,
And
sort of.
it'll be one of them things where I'll almost forget about him, and then it'll be a nice surprise. The little package
But
arrive.
like,
Oh,
oh
what's
yeah,
this? Hey, cool, get Stomper. Oh
how long ago did I order that one?
yeah.
This is it.
As if I'm not dead by then, you know.
Nah, I'm sure we'd be grand. Pale is saying, bring back a character pool and add to it. Our lore is full of characters, and we have like 3. It's a joke. I also want weapon options for the looters and flash kits. Yeah, it's a fair point. It's a fair point. Judy saying gear guts. I'm actually fine with the custom clan rails we got from Saga of the Beast. Brack was saying, fix the open top reel to make folks inside trucks use their abilities.
Yeah, that just needs an FAQ. That does. That needs an FAQ like 6 months ago. That's an oversight. It's got to be
Oversight about
big
rules and
oversight.
GW.
Yeah, incompetence. You
I've
say?
never heard of such a thing. Pokactus is saying F for the souped up shock attack on. Yeah, it's gone, man. It's gone the way of the dodo, isn't it?
I think it was overused, though, wasn't it? I think at the end it was.
Well, yeah, you were hearing tournament lists. It's like, oh yeah, souped up shock attack gun. It's like, all right, yeah.
It became one of them kind of things where it was like sort of so good and sort of such a kind of thing. Everyone's like, "Oh, you got to have one." And where instantly for me it becomes one of them things. So, I don't want to have it in my army. Then I want to do something different. Did use it a couple of times. It was fucking good. I have to say, it was bloody good. I
Well,
think
here's
the
here's
first
here's
time I used it, I took out my mate's Redemptor Dreadnought on like turn 1 of the game. He wasn't impressed with that.
nice. Gary Hauser saying Grot Sniper should be a deal. That'd be
Hell
sweet.
yeah.
Jude is saying, what I want is some other Grot units outside of the standard Grots, for example, Grot heavy weapons teams and Grot snipers. Yeah. Gary says he's printing the Gear Guts Dogosaur at the moment. Nice. Very nice. Yeah, it's quite a lot of Gear Guts stuff. It's a lot of files. Awful lot of files. Kyle is a busy character.
Yes, I have a range review to do on that very soon. I little plug for the channel here. I filmed the Cromlech range review earlier today. That'll be out in over the next week or so on the channel. But the next one I'm doing is the Gear Guts range review, and I've already specified on the Cromlech video that I will not be covering every entry in the website, or else it'll be a 10-hour video. I'm going to have to pick some highlights and because there's a lot of shit there to look through.
This is true. And Kyle's got a lot of stuff as well. I think his Patreon's been running for what, like a year and a half or something like that, and he brings out 25, 20 plus. Yeah, probably like close to 30 designs a month. It's impressive, man. Very impressive.
It certainly is. Any war boss would be impressed with a big mech like that working for him, wouldn't they?
This is it. Mad Mech working for himself.
He's like Archimedes or something.
Tanya saying Gear Guts range review. ... 7 hours later.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
very much so.
I didn't do that in the right accent. 7 hours later. There you go.
Man, even the Cromlech one, I didn't cover everything because even that on there, they've got like the range that Cromlech has far exceeds the range that Games Workshop has.
That's not it.
And it's just like, oh yeah, just to keep the video at some kind of sensible level, I just have to sort of skim over a lot of it, and but yeah, there's just it's incredible the stuff that's out there. but yeah, I want to build that playlist up so that it's just becomes a playlist of all the different orc stuff out there from all the different manufacturers and that first party and third party because there's so much choice out there now.
Well, this is it. There's so much to shop around, and
I think I
you're
think we're
spoiled for
catered
choice.
for by third parties probably more than any other faction, more so even than Space Marines, I would say. I mean, there's a lot of third party Space Marine stuff out
Well,
there,
I
but
wouldn't know, Steve. I'll leave that bold claim to yourself because I don't go shopping for Space Marines, so I wouldn't know what to compare it. You
what are
know,
you insinuating?
well, that's you know what I mean. We'll see. We'll see what happens in the end. You pull out a Space Marine chapter out of nowhere, and you're like, "Oh, I've secretly liked Crimson Fists all this time." I'm like, Judas.
I've thought over the years. There's been several moments where I've considered doing a Space Marine force, like a little combat patrol force or a kill team or whatever. Um, but yeah, there's always been something else that's gone sort of been more appealing. But yeah, no, I wouldn't be against dabbling with them at some point. If I ever did though, I'd end up doing my own chapter. I think that would be the thing I'd have to do.
What now? Rainbow Warriors now?
No, no fucking Rainbow Warriors or Angry Marines. But I would
Angry
like to.
Marines. Yeah.
I would like to create my own chapter. I think, and because there's that you got quite a bit of creativity and stuff within the codex. I think to customize the traits and things and work the sort of character into your faction. But I
This
think
is it.
unlike with orcs, it's all about sort of kit bashing, converting, and mashing things together. And it with Space Marines, it's I think the creativity of Space Marines comes from sort of doing your own sort of color scheme and things. And I think I would find it too restrictive and dull to just pick one of the chapters and one of the main chapters and just follow that rigidly. I'd want to do a successor chapter of my own making and
Well, it all
but
depends. Like, I'm sure some people find solace in the concept that paint schemes will be picked out for you, and you can look up units and unit markings, whatever else. And it's like, oh,
mm,
that's all decided for you.
yeah, I think a lot of Space Marine players do it like proper religiously, don't they? With the proper squad markings and the proper squad sizes and that, and almost to the point of like where historical gamers take it. They really want to have it bang on, to strict codex adherence.
Well, you know, each to their
But
own. Gio is saying
wouldn't
he also want Zog and Nasdrag model. Come on, GW. Nasdrag is such an important character. This is true. Quite a few people have been asking. Gear
they
goods.
mention him in the
Mid
book
video
enough?
new releases are added. Nice. Very nice.
Yeah, I do a Gear Guts range review in a week. The video is completely obsolete because he's had about 300 releases since then.
I think Coils hit the nail on the head. Halfway through you're recording it, there'd be a new miniature released.
Yeah, it would totally.
Gubbins is saying kamikaze grots for tank posters would be funny. Well, they done something like that previously with the grot rockets, grot guided rockets, where it pretty much was something along the lines of that.
That'd be cool. That'd be cool.
They used to have them in Forge World. So to see something like that come back, or even plastic grot tanks, that'd be
Oh,
interesting.
yeah, plastic rock tanks would be good.
Because Gubbins is saying would be like the tank buster dogs the Soviets had, just not
Yeah.
as dark. Well, yeah, we kind of have like our tank buster squigs in that regard.
Although, didn't those dogs run back and destroy
Yes,
their own tanks?
those dogs were trained to blow up Soviet tanks with explosives. So when they were released on the battlefield, they ran under Soviet tanks. And
And it serves them right for being so fucking cruel to dogs. You don't fuck with dogs, man. Dogs are off limits. Don't be nasty with dogs, man.
what Steve-O said.
Don't strap bombs to dogs. That's not cool.
Tanya was saying, I would do pink Templars to piss off the neckbeards. Do it. Do it.
Pink Templars.
In the best Palpatine, meme you can think of. Just like, do it. Do it. Judas saying it'd also be cool to get a new Titan model like a Gargant. Yes. I found it strange that there was a Mega Gargant brought out, but it was an Age of Sigmar giant and not the
A
Mega
mega
Gargant from
guy.
the days of yore. I was like, what's going on here? I don't know. There's a Space Marine boxes up there, but I'm not going to
I
bother.
wouldn't get too excited, people, because if they made a 40k scale Mega Gargant, not one of us would be able to afford it.
Well, not even that. For the what's that bleeding Adeptus Mechanicus game?
Yeah,
That'd
that would be cool.
be
Yeah.
cool if we had some Orc Titans in that.
Mm.
Like, but then again, there's the
That
Aeronautica
that
Imperialis.
game doesn't interest me in the same way that Epic did, because it's like just Titans, isn't it?
Well, that's
It's
how Epic
just
started off, though.
yeah, but Epic, you get all the little soldiers and tanks and everything. So you got everything you could get for 40k, but well, more. You can have a little army, your little bases with your 5 little squad. Each base had a squad on it and stuff. Whereas the other thing is just big robots. I'm like, yeah, it's like not really. Doesn't
Each
float
their
my
own.
boat.
Well, this is it. It's a nice it's a nice spread. I still haven't decided what chapter to paint this dead, crushed marine as. I'll
Do you
decide that
have
later.
any marine playing wargaming buddies, or
I don't think so.
you've made sure that's not the case.
No, it's not. I'm sure there's some lads at the local club, but I haven't been there in ages. You know yourself.
Have you ever played a game against that guy? And do you remember what his chapter was? If you do, paint it that color, just as a fuck you to him.
That guy. Yeah. Been there, done that. Sadly, been there, done that.
Well, whatever his chapter was, make it that.
Might get that one. Custom chapter it is. So.
I mean, it's easy for me if it's any Space Marine bits, I've got to paint them Dark Angels just to fuck with Joe. Mind you, he collects several chapters. He's got Space Wolves, Black Templars, so I could paint them almost any of the. He's got several Space Marine chapters on the go. So,
Well, this is it. Like Scott's saying in the comment section here, all my dead ass Marines are Black Templar because it's the easiest. Destroy brush the Black Primer.
yeah, that's
Can't
true.
go wrong. I remember when I first sort of got into 40k, it was just before 3rd edition launched. And then when 3rd edition came out, like, I remember there was quite a lot of Black Templar armies knocking around back then. Do you remember back then?
Yeah, that's what Joe used to play with his Black Templars. They were very strong back then.
Like, I do remember that. They were like, there was a lot of them. And I remember the cover art. The cover art was really cool for 3rd edition. But,
they're a very popular chapter, very popular.
yeah, I do remember there being a lot more Black Templars back then than even now. But like I said, I'm not in the loop as much as I used to be, so
I always found them quite a boring chapter myself.
the Black Templars, I like the concept of them crusading.
Yeah, I think it's just the look of the armor, and so I find them a bit boring looking, I guess. I think if I was to do an official chapter, I'd probably go Imperial Fists, probably. If I was to ever do something like that. But
Any particular reason? Is it just you like the look of them? You like their lore?
they're
Or...
yellow.
Yeah.
No, like
Yellow.
they're kind of bad moony, aren't they? They're yellow and shooty.
Canary Marines. What more could you ask
Yeah,
for?
yellow and
It's like,
shooty.
I should have known. Why did I even bother asking? I should know already. I shouldn't. You know what I mean?
They like shooting big guns, and they're yellow. You know.
I should know this already. Like, got the best that flash as hell.
All the best chapters were heretics anyway. We all know that.
Iron Warriors. Yep. Definitely. I think if I was to do anything in power armor, like I started off with Space Wolves when I was younger. But I don't think I go back to Space Wolves. I'd do like Iron Warriors or something. They'd be cool. I've always liked
Iron
the look
Warriors
of them.
are cool.
I've always liked the look of them. I've never really collected a Chaos Space Marine army, but I've always liked the look of Iron Warriors. I used to be a big fan of Nurgle before they sort of changed the range over. The aesthetics of it changed a fair bit, but I do have 1 or 2 Nurgle bits, but no idea is to be collecting a whole army of them. But But yeah, Iron Warriors look cool.
I used to collect Black Legion. That's what the force I used to do. Black Legion. I had a lot of love for them. But I think if I was to do Chaos now, I'd probably go for the what they called the the Sons of Malice,
The
the
Sons of
worshippers of
Malice.
the fifth Chaos God. Um, they're black and white right down the center. You got half black, half white, and they're like the anti-chaos. They're like they go slaughtering other chaos space marines and stuff, and anyone and everyone, and they backstab each other, and they're the lore for them is quite interesting, and they're quite a brutal sort of quite a savage legion of space marines. They've got a very cool lore and stuff going along with them.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah, the chaos god of anarchy. They're like the Sex Pistols in Power Armor. I am an anarchist. I'm like, yeah, they're cool, man. They're fucking cool.
Tanya was asking, weren't the Templars in a box set back then with Dark Elder? They were, Tanya, you're right.
Yes,
Third edition
yes,
box
you're
set
right.
was,
Yes, I remember.
I think it was like 10 Tactical Marines, a Land Speeder, and then a load of Dark Elder.
Yeah, those shit Dark Elder miniatures. They were shit. They weren't good at the time, even at the time. My brother-in-law had a massive Dark Elder.
There was one of them with like a hairdo that was just like mad. You know what I mean? It was
Yeah,
just like,
they weren't good. The Dark Elder range now is gorgeous. Like, it's so good. There's some the way they updated them, they made them so much better.
Dread is asking.
Dread's asking when we're going to talk about orcs.
Me? No, he's asking about I can get the box out, I'll show you. Dread was asking which one of the Iron Warriors. I started to make a kill team. Do you remember back when Kill Team came out? We were all like, "Oh, we'll all make kill teams and join."
Yeah, I remember you doing that, man.
Um,
remember you doing all your hazard stripes.
These boys, these were Iron Warriors. Yeah, all the hazard stripes. So I made like an Iron Warriors kill team just out of tactical Marines that I had knocking around, and I had some fun with them. I did make a standard for them. This guy.
Yeah, they look cool, man.
So I did some Iron Warriors. That's just plastic card. I just wanted it to look like it was ripped out of a piece of metal or whatever, and
nice.
Just like their icon standard or whatever. But this is all made from like I don't have any chaos bits, so it was all like tactical marines. I think the legs were off of Space Wolf sprues from like the Stormclaw box set. It's not a way like if you're an orc player and you'll buy box sets and sometimes you'll just end up with Space Marine parts.
Yeah.
Hither, dither, and yonder. Yeah. So
that's it, and that makes good sense for them as well because they're constantly looted and stuff off.
Yeah, of course. That's what I would have thought.
Their helmet gets knackered or whatever. They'll rip the helmet off a dead foe and replace it because the armor's valuable to them, isn't it?
But typical me, I didn't finish painting these guys. I really should have. And then there was this guy as well who I didn't finish converting. I was going to do like the heavy bolter guy and give him like a Cybertronic type of arm, and I started building it out of plastic card and I just never finished it.
Dread says road workers in the 41st millennium.
Well, pretty much, yeah.
Well, you might as well go to full hog then and have 4 of them drinking a cup of tea while only one of them's working.
Men at work.
Give the rest of them just like a spade. They're all stood there, their thermos, fucking picking holes and having jabs at the one poor little fucker who's working.
Nah, that's not how you dig it, old mate. Yeah. Why don't you do it? No. I'll leave you to it. It's the only way you're gonna learn. And then a lot of cultists as well. I was starting to paint up cultists for them.
Nice.
That was cool. So yeah.
Yeah, I've got a lot of love for Chaos, man. Chaos is a cool faction. It's after Orcs, Chaos is the next one for any lover of converting and kit bashing, and there's all directions you can go with them and different flavors.
There's a lot of scope with them. Yeah, you could really
just cultists alone. You've got so much scope to go with them, haven't you? They can be traitor Imperial Guardsmen. They can be like mutants. They can be feral people from a world. You go all sorts with it, and you can just go crazy with it. It's really cool.
could go crazy. Could be anything. Could be like sort of shunned mutants that have been sort of like pushed to
Yeah,
chaos or
Beastmen.
something.
You get Beastmen.
Gores and ungores and stuff like that. Or
Yeah,
they could be like, you know,
just in one of the
fishmen
Siege
or
of the
frogs or whatever.
one of the recent Siege of Terror books I was reading. It's a whole thing of they ship down onto Terror, a whole fucking unload the all the traitors and that coming out, but there's like a whole ship just full of gores and stuff, like whipped beastmen whipped up into a frenzy and that, and then just hurled at the enemy. And it was cool reading about that. And yeah, there's just so much you
Let
can do
loose
with
on the planet. Rampage!
it. Mm.
Yay! Now I need to decide what to stipple onto big gigaguts here. Next.
Well, I've got the first layer of it won't show up too well on the camera. I'm not going to try and get it showing up.
Well, no.
He's pretty out of focus, isn't he? You know, I can. Well, you know, you get the idea. You know, you can probably just about say maybe the light's too bright on him. But yeah, there you go. I just got the skin coat done, base coat of him done. He's sort of coming to life. It's
I've got an idea of what to do with these cables. What way are you going to do them? Am I going to do them up like they're kind of rubber? Because I've got some of those Vallejo tire colors, so I'm going to do some of these up in rubber, and then I might do some of them up in metal. What were you thinking of doing cable wise on the big gear guts miniature? Like how?
Oh bloody hell! The big gear guts miniature. I ain't even got that far yet, mate. One step at a time. I'm working on my 6+1.
Because I'm just gonna do it up. I'll probably stipple some metals in, and then I'll do the yellows on top, and then I'll do it the white on the squares and stuff like that. And then I'm gonna pick out. I think I'm gonna pick out some of the pistons that get used a lot, and sort of do them in metal to show that they're the friction that's on them, and then probably paint them in a wash so that it's oil like. So like these ones here at the front and stuff like that, they'll all be any pistons that would get used for movement. I think I'll do them up to make it look like there's a lot of friction on them, so they'd be bare metal again. So I have a concept.
I'll tell you
of what to do.
Changing the subject back to the marine in his hand, a good color to paint the marine, or a good thing, is to figure out whatever colors you're doing the orc itself. Go with the color wheel. Go for a good contrasting color. So pick a chapter that's like close to the color on the color wheel to be the opposite of the yellow, you know?
Well, I'm just thinking, if you're talking about colors straight away, it's like if his armor is going to be green. Yeah, so it's like if he's going to be green and his armor is yellow, I'm like, you know, what
kind
color
looking at a
would you make?
Purpley color, aren't you?
I don't know. It might be
or a blood angel. You could go red. I'm looking up at a color wheel here.
Yeah, red. Probably red. I'm thinking like primary colors, like RGB, red, green, blue, sort of. But you know,
I mean, you do.
I suppose the green's close to the blue.
The Hawk Lords is a chapter. They're purple. You could do a purple.
This is true. Yeah, purple and green always look kind of weird though. Giving off Bruce Banner vibes.
I was kind of going for like a contrast to yellow more than I think. So I think yellow will be the primary color on him, won't it? More so than the green.
I suppose like doing an ultramarine or a smurf, but even black. If he's painted in black, that in and of itself would contrast the orange and yellows.
Ultramarines always a popular choice, isn't it?
Yeah, well, this is it.
Everyone hates ultramarines.
Even Space Marine players hate ultramarines. You know what I mean? The majority of them.
Yeah, they do.
Tanya is saying soul drinkers. They're all saying happy birthday to Dread. Don't miss it on twice. Once. There he is. Look, plugging away.
Yeah,
2 p.m. and then 9 p.m. tomorrow.
That's tomorrow, isn't it? His birthday.
It is his birthday tomorrow. Happy birthday, Dread. Happy birthday. So how old do you be?
Oh, actually, it reminds me, Dread. I've got a present for you down here. Just
old enough to know better.
There you go.
Yeah, I was waiting. I knew. It's like same thing I got you last year, but in a different cover. Sweet fuck all, mate. Oh god, I was waiting for it. Please, please, please be this be a board. There you go, Dred. There's your present, mate.
He knew it. He says.
Yeah, yeah. This is it.
He knows I love him. He knows I love him.
Love to torment him, like. I'm trying to. I have an idea because I'm thinking about this. I'm thinking about this hologram that he has in his hand, and I'm thinking about using a contrast paint on it. So if I put like a contrast green or something like that, so I might do it up in the right bone base color, and then go from there.
Can I make a suggestion?
What?
What about trying out some of like the color shift paints on it?
Color shift? I don't have any of them.
Yeah, it'd be a good excuse to buy one.
I don't, Steve-O, I don't need to buy any more paints. I
It
really
would look
don't.
cool though, wouldn't it? I mean, I think those color shift paints, they're very clever and they're recorded. But when it comes to actually putting them on miniatures, I think there's very few cases where there's really a use for them. But I think on something like a hologram like that, and as you change it in the light, it sort of change. It might make it look quite cool. I don't know.
Are you thinking like early '90s hologram? Is that what you're thinking? That sort of.
Well, yeah, it would definitely would look like that, wouldn't it? Actually, now
Yeah.
you mention it, yeah. But yeah,
Stuart is
certainly
asking,
give
"Hey,
it an
Scar,
interesting.
were you able to get
look.
Dread a Gore's egg, git stomp it, and nick it?" I did. I managed to grab Dread one. That's why I have this one here in the plastic, and then I built my own one. But I mean, like, if you want to buy him one for his birthday, feel free. If that's what you're hinting at, and if you're not,
Yeah.
you know,
Start a campaign up there. Dread, put your address in the comments, mate. Anyone who wants to send Dread a Gorzag, send it to that following address. There you go.
or anything else that comes to mind. You know?
You'll have a pallet of them turning up.
Uh,
There you go. Convert that lot, you fucker.
some of the shade change in paint. No, I haven't really messed around with color shifters or shade painters and stuff. I haven't even done like. There's a lot of techniques that I've watched a lot of videos on, so I kind of understand the theory behind them, but I haven't tried them. So I haven't tried OSL, object source lighting for.
Yeah. Obviously, that would be a great place to put that, wouldn't it?
So if it's glowing
Even
itself,
to have the sort of the glow of it on his face a little bit as he's looking, it would be very cool.
yeah. We don't know. See, this is what stumped me. I was like, concept wise, what to do, and then colors and composition, and it's like, all right, well, I did his armor green. Now I need to sort of stipple it or do it up in rust patches. I think I'll do that now. We'll get a weathering stick and we'll give it a good stipple in there, love. How ya?
You're kind of going to do your Darth Maul with that war boss, aren't you? And you've got your little Palpatine in your hand. Kill them all.
It's funny because as soon as people saw it, they were like making memes in our Discord. Execute Order 66.
That's it, yeah.
I was like, fair play, lads. Fair play. At least they get us. Maybe Dread will get another from his brother as well. Maybe he did ask his brother to get one. Tanya's saying she likes the idea of a color shift for lenses. It's impossible to hide.
Yeah,
so it wouldn't do
that's
too
a good
much
idea.
elsewhere. Yeah, that's not a bad idea at all.
I would always like if I was ever to do Emperor's Children, I like the idea of using color shift on their armor because in the lore it talks about how the sort of the vibrant colors and stuff that they use in excess, like everything that sort of they're almost indescribable when you read about them in the books and stuff. They say like these colors and things that stimulate the senses and just sort of seem to change and turn as you look at them. So I feel they'd be quite cool on some like elite Emperor's Children units or something.
I've heard that people saying about Emperor's Children that they're supposed to be like super vibrant, but I've never really seen them painted that way on the tabletop though.
Well, a hard thing to do in reality, isn't it? But I think
sort of color shifting paints are probably the way to go about it. Relying on Scarborough, I have to wait until you see him. Jesus, that could be this time next year, mate. At the rate we're bleeding going at. My God, you might get arrested for trying to walk out to your bin.
just, strap it to the foot of a pigeon and send it over to him.
This is it.
Oh,
People be like, "What in the hell is attached to that pigeon?" It's just like a box of orcs, just like a pallet with a load of pigeons or balloons. I'll just buy a load of balloons. It'll be like Up delivery service for Dread.
oh! I won't in this little dish here. I won't be. You won't be able to pick it up on camera. But I earlier on today, I've pre-made 2 green stuff nipples for my orc torso that I mistakenly shaved the nipples off because I don't know where I got this idea from. I don't know why I had this in my head. Had it
Listen,
in my head that orcs
I'm
didn't
all
have
for
nipples.
different strokes for different folks. Like, you know what I mean? If you know, if you got a bit of a nipple fetish there, Steve, then fair.
I think, yeah, it's well, yeah, and
It's
I'll
one
tell you
thing
what.
sharing it. It's another thing sculpting them out green stuff and sticking them to your miniatures. Like, you know.
I tell you what, man, I'd never want to have to do it again because fuck me, they're literally the size of full stops, and they're going to be a right pig to attach. But yeah, Dred was giving me some advice earlier on how to
How to
get the
sculpt
nipples on there
nipples.
because
Is he
I
well
just
experienced in that department
he
himself? Is
yeah
he?
he seems to be very knowledgeable of it. You know, he was very helpful.
Ah, I love it.
Yeah, he was showing me diagrams and footage of stuff and specialist videos and here's a link to a website I frequent a lot. He said, "Oh, so yeah,
There you are, mate. Get some of
yeah."
that.
So I've got to just somehow get the tiniest little blob of super glue on there, and I've drilled in tiny little indentations just so I can get them nipples flush and get them back on there because I was like kicking myself because he's my favourite torso as well. He's a big fat torso with a big chain round his neck, so he's just like yeah, he's gonna make a great bad moon knob, and yeah, I've got to get them
Oh
nipples back
man,
on, man.
you couldn't make this shit up.
No, you couldn't. I don't know how I got myself into this fucking mess.
Oh.
Because I was doing it, and it was when I was making my big mech with the flash kit body. I got the body. I'm like, hang on a minute, this fucker's got nipples. And then I posted it on the thing, and everyone's like, yeah, they've all got nipples. I'm like, well, why the fuck am I shaving them off then? What the fuck? I only did it because
Me
I
missus will
thought.
be like, "So, what did you talk about on the stream?" I'll be like, "You'd never believe it, love. We were Steve was talking about nipples, about shaving them off and then sculpting new ones, and it's like,
Do you know what as well? The weird thing, I'm probably the last person to have a nipple fetish. I understand, man. Don't be touching my nipples. What the fuck are you playing at? I don't get all that. I had a mate, his girl. He said she used to get off like sucking on his nipples and that. I'm like,
oh,
oh, what the fuck, man? No,
Jesus,
stay the fuck away from that.
look, all right,
Don't be
man.
touching my fucking nipples, man.
We'll leave it at that." I was wondering where this story was going. I'm like, oh.
Dreadwire Gaming, Steve-O's knob and shaving nipples. Great chat. Look, you know what you're getting when I'm on camera, don't you? Anything and everything.
This is it, yeah, yeah.
Ah, sharing is scaring.
I am trying to do stippling. I don't know about these green stuff world weathering sticks. I mean, it's just sponge in a tube. That's all it is, a sponge in a tube. Like, and you just.
I use when I'm doing stuff like I see what you mean. I just use like in the little blister packs and that when you get the little foam and then when you get your carry cases and that with the foam and you get the pluck foam.
Mm-hmm.
I've just got shitloads of that. Like I've got a bit.
I think, mate, that's what this is like. It's pretty much what it is.
I've got
Don't
so
bother.
much of it lying around, and I just tear a bit of that off and dip it. I always use it for my rust effects, and use it for me blood as well. The effects paints. So I just dip it in there and then sponge on like blood and rust and stuff on bits. And just any old bit of sponge would do, really, wouldn't it? Anything
Yeah,
like
just tear the lump off. But yeah, when we used to get blister packs and stuff like that, and you'd used to get a bit of sponge, that's what they were great for as well.
Or I generally like hold it with a pair of, like tear off like a little bit and hold it in a pair of tweezers and then just dip it in the paint and then get most of it off and just sponge it on. Yeah, that's what I usually do my rust bits and that.
It's the art of sponging on enough, but also not going too far with it, you know.
What's Dread saying now? He says, I
Oh,
used to have
God
a
knows.
piercing like Steve-O in my eyebrow, but the fucker got wounded and never stayed in. You shouldn't have been gobbing off then, should you? Yeah, most people's eyebrows, they grow out. I've known lots of people who've had their eyebrows done, and then after it pushes along and eventually like falls off and they have to take them out. But mine just never did. I've had it in for 22 years now.
Jesus.
Dread says, my body rejected it. Yeah, I think a lot of people do that. And Gary Hauser says, damn Prince Alberts. You know, I ain't done that. Oh, fuck that. No. Jeez. Take a trip to the bad doc for that one.
Oh, damn, son. Definitely. Yeah, but see, I'm thinking I'll just like stipple all this on and then I'll come back in with some lead belcher and a fine detail brush, or maybe even connect some of the dryad bark together with a small detail brush and just do like large patches. But I'll stipple the bejesus out of this and then go from there.
I might start painting his shirt now. Start working on his tank top. What colour do I want to do it in? Leather brown or go for the leather one, the same as the rest of me boys.
Sculpting nipples, shaving nipples off, Prince Alberts, leather browns. Like, it's a good thing my channel's not monetized, mate, because boy Jesus.
This is why I get these comments from these hot girls, you know.
Oh, the butts! I saw the butts, man. I'm like, oh, I thought that was hilarious. I thought that was hilarious.
I usually report them and delete them as soon as I see them. Just instant report, delete. But that's because they usually come with a link to some dodgy site, you know. So I just get shot at it. But because that one didn't have a link attached to it, I'm like, oh, I'll have some sport with this one.
A bit of fun. Get some entertainment value out of it. Gary Hauser saying orc piercings are bullet holes. Probably.
Rivet Sadaka says bling. Yeah, you got to have. I love all the the boys kit and that. I like all the boys that have got like the lip rings and the earrings and stuff. I love all that and get pretty little gold bits of bling on them and stuff. I love it. And the even the 6+ War Boss here, he's got the lip ring, he's got the eyebrow stud, and yeah, he's got it all going on there. So he's gonna get some bling on him. Got to get some bling.
I wish there was more variation with the helmets on the boys, bro.
Yeah, I've been looking. I've recently purchased another boys kit, just because I've got a strong feeling this will be the last year of this kit. I think that's my prediction. But so I wanted to get at least another one. I'll possibly get some more as well, just to have them before they're all gone. But I haven't started doing anything with them yet because I've got a few bits for fun minis like running legs and stuff. But I want to get some bits from Hardcore Miniatures because I've seen some really cool orc heads and torsos and arms and bits from them as well. And I want to get a few more bits for fun minis. And so I don't want to start working on them until I've got all the variety of bits to be able to get me Frankenstein mode on, you know, and just have all the bits there and go, right, let's build some boys. Let's build some unique boys.
I get you, yeah. You do pick a mix for your boys build.
Mashing a load of different bits from I always quite like having a miniature that's got like, you know, that part's from Puppets War, that part's from Cromlech, that's a GW bit, and that's in mash them all together and make your own, you know, creations. And that's the great position we're in now with just so much variety out there. I've even started work on a mech boy. Mech boys are shit. I never use them, but I've just got a cool head and a I've got a cool like cyborg torso, and I got the head from the Dakar jet kit that goes in the Wasbomb blaster jet, and I'm like, that's a cool mech head. I'm gonna have to do something with that, and so yeah, I've started getting some bits together to build a mech boy, and I'll probably never use him in game because they're just kind of pointless and shit, and overcosted. Yeah, I suppose they've got a use in like looter squads and that now, haven't they? With like the stratagems and bits. But
Yeah, but isn't that different though? The
I think
mechs.
they're spanners, aren't they? Yeah, they're called spanners, aren't they? But I don't know. They just don't serve much of a purpose because they repair like what one
Or the
wound
spanners.
per turn.
I think the
Like,
only reason you'd want to put spanners in is if you want to use that stratagem in the Saga of the Beast book where you can
yeah,
re-roll in a unit of 10 for one strategy, one
I mean, I'm
CP. And
I'm just making like just the normal mech boy from the elite section, just
yeah,
to have one. But they
yeah,
just
that was a strange one. Do you know what I mean? We don't have many characters, and then they made this like lone mech with a plasma or custom mega pistol out of the blue. It was like it was a really
yeah,
odd
and then the
decision. Like,
rules for him are just kind of a little bit shit. I mean, I don't know. I suppose he's a gives you a cheap character choice, doesn't he? I suppose he's a I suppose he serves some kind of purpose in like a in combat patrol games and stuff, maybe.
you bloody orc players, never happy. So they're saying he got some orc boys for Christmas. He made his shooters into a Sten gun model. People still think it looks like a can of bug spray.
I'm liking the look of Dreads Boys. Dreads Boys are looking really good, man. He's got some
Yeah,
cool poses and bits on them, and he's very much done that, mashed a load of stuff together, and yeah, they look really cool. He's got a lot of sort of truck boys and a very Mad Max theme going on. Looks awesome.
this is true.
And his painting's coming along well, man. And what he was showing off in our last War Boss video is his work in progress. They're looking very, very impressive indeed.
But they are coming along very nicely.
He might not be the first to finish, but he may well be the most impressive one. You never know.
Essex boys were saying mech boy good in a battle wagon with mechanobs in case it blows up on your roll of one. So as a sacrificial wound. Yeah, but you could
Yeah,
do that with you could do that with you could do that with ammo runts or the ones for the mech. You know the if you have a big mech in mega
yeah.
armor.
The Grot Oiler.
Yeah, you could do that with a
Yeah,
Grot Oiler, like.
yeah. Always this the kind of. I mean, obviously, he helps you with your repair rolls and stuff, like giving the extra wound thing. But yeah, they're great to psycho. I like using bomb squigs for that as well. My tank busters, if they're in a truck.
Well, preferably I
Couple
like
of bomb
setting the bomb squigs loose because they do a fair chunk of damage when they hit.
They certainly do.
Rain on somebody's parade. How much damage? Yeah, these 6
Oh hell
What?
yeah!
It's like, yep. Here's what it is. Don't hate the player, hate the game. Why?
Right, we have some leather brown on this fucker. Oh dear. Don't die on us, Rivets. What's going on there? What's Rivets on about? Oh, he's what have I missed in the chat? Someone set Rivets off. He's pissing himself. I don't even know this. Drunken Orc. I suppose getting a ring through your nose is pretty tame when your mate's got his entire jaw replaced with a metal trap. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I don't see the point in buying this weathering stick. Just get sponge yourself and do it on the cheap.
Yeah, just get some cheap ass bit of sponge from all kinds. You get that stuff everywhere, can't you?
Ah, yeah.
For next to nothing. You
Just
can
go
find it in.
into Deals or Poundland and buy like the sponge for washing your car, and there you go.
Dumpster diving, man.
I wouldn't
Packing
go.
stuff.
I wouldn't
Shit,
go dumpster diving for used sponges if I was being honest. Like, you know what I mean?
Oh, workplaces and stuff I've been at, man. I've gone dumpster diving for bits for conversions and stuff before. Like I've worked in like hardware stores and stuff, and all the shit you throw in. Like, ooh, those little bits of pipes and stuff. They better be good for a bit of terrain and that.
Hmm.
I'm sure Dred's done that sort of thing. I mean, I'm sure he's spoken about it before, doing all that kind of stuff. He loves a good dumpster dive.
Holding on to stuff. That might be good for a project one day. You know,
Yeah. I even had
several
people bring us
decades
up and make
later, they find you buried under a pile of it. Oh, I was going to build terrain out of this.
Yeah, a mate of mine ripped apart an old PC and a VCR and shit and just brought round all the bits. Here you go. I thought this stuff would be useful for you. I'm like, yeah,
Cogs
it
and
might be, but fuck me. How much have you bought? Like, this big box of trash. Like, cheers, mate.
what have you got from you? A load of cogs and stuff. But yeah, like even the cartridges out of like printers and stuff, the cogs on the side of them, they look pretty good.
Yeah. An old cheap watch or whatever. Smash that up, get the little cogs and wheels out of that.
Dread is saying, sure, with the dreads, nobody ever raised an eyebrow, see me in a bin. Ah, well, they would these days, me. You know, no dreads anymore. If it's going in the trash, no one cares if you take it. Well, depends. Some people can be weird about it.
The last time they found him in a skip, they just thought they'd woken him up.
You've been here all night.
Came out of the skip all red-eyed and that, you know.
Just
You're right in there, bud. He thought he was going to get in trouble. They just gave him a sandwich. There you go, fella. Go on.
half a cheese sandwich.
Put a blanket around him. Give him a sandwich.
Yeah, mate. There's a brew. Out of the flask. The flask lid cup. The army. Sorted. Like Oscar the Grouch. Essex says he's been saving up all the teal rolls from work and the centres from the industrial cling film rolls. Yeah, they're probably, if they're plastic cores, that's a good idea.
Oh, yeah. Good for cannons and stuff and
bits and pieces.
Scratch built stompers and whatnot.
Definitely. Dread is saying you can zog off, Steve-O. But yeah, you could definitely, like, people are doing great work with different bits and pieces, but like saving up bits for a project that I might do one day just sounds like a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, I had to throw loads of stuff away, so I'm never going to do anything with shit. Just throw away.
It's like you've held on to something for a while. How will I get around to actually using this for something? And it's like, well, you know. Seeing how it's going. What progress have we made? I put some wash on mine.
I am. I've got the skin. I'm just working on his like vest now, so he's getting his brown vest on.
Bit of brown stipple. I don't even know if you guys can really see that on camera. Not really. There is some brown there. Just a bit of brown.
All right. I have noticed actually as I'm painting him, I didn't do a great job on the cleanup round the back. I've got like the little indentations, the little kind of marks where it's from where it's printed and come off the little sprue, but you got the little bits where it snaps off. I can see a bit of them, but they're very fine. You barely notice them. I've actually left them on the base of his foot on purpose because it all kind of looks like the tread of his boot. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to leave them there on purpose because it kind of just looks like the tread.
Seems the pale orcs come in and he's going dumpster diving. The pale orc says, "Hold my zogging beer." Essex is saying he smashed up an all printed to make the tracks for his kill tanks. Oh yeah, I saw that. That was pretty good. Rivets is saying he has an attic full of stuff he might use one day. One day. I'm sure if I had an attic on my own, I would do the same.
Rivets strikes me as the typical man in a shed. You know, he's got all sorts of little treasures on there.
He strikes stashed away.
Yeah, totally. I feel like he's a hoarder. I feel like he's
organized chaos.
Yeah. And his missus, God bless her, nail boots. I bet she's getting sick of it all the time, telling him to get rid of stuff and that.
Let's ever clear some of this shite out.
Yeah, that's it.
See what I'm saying? Anyone start the Snotling Blood Bowl team? I got one for Christmas and the little guys look so cute. Did you not get a Goblin or a Snotling team, or was it
a Goblin team? Yeah,
you went for Goblins.
Nearly all of them now. I've only got a couple left to build. I've got a couple out of the box to build to make the squad, and then I've got a blister of the I can't remember what they're called, like the special weapon guys. They've got like 3 dudes with all like a chainsaw and whatnot, and the bombs and what the
The bits
secret
and
weapons, I
pieces.
think they're called.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then after that, once I've got them all built, I shall be on the market looking for a troll or 2.
Mm. Yeah, the Blood Bowl trial looks alright. I don't know. I didn't bother with the new box set. Like I have the previous box set, but I didn't bother with this newest one because I'm like, I already have enough crap. You know what I mean?
Oh, what,
Plus,
the actual game itself, you mean?
yeah, I didn't bother with the
Yeah.
actual game itself because I have like a full team of the orcs from the previous box set that I still haven't decided what to do. Maybe when I finish up Gear Guts Armor here and see how that comes out, I might do them in the same sort of manner, just not yellow. I might do them like just like rust, lots of rust or something. I don't know. We'll see what way it works. I'll see how this works out first of all. And
Blood
go
Bowl
from
seems
there.
like a good game to kind of have and bring people into the hobby with. It feels like, because it's more like a board game kind of thing. It feels like the sort of game that you could entice people in to sort of come and try out a bit of
Well, this is it. Like Space Hulk. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like I was always kind of disappointed that they didn't continue producing Space Hulk because I thought it was a great way to introduce people to the game because it's a
yeah,
really
so
good
popular as well.
self-contained game. Yeah, and it's very popular, very tactical, really good game. Like I've always been sort of perplexed in that regard. Um, I suppose they've sort of followed down that path again with like the Blackstone Fortress and the Warhammer Quest, Age of Sigmar ones. You know what I mean?
Did you get your hero quest? Did the
Not yet,
Kickstarter
not
on
yet.
that is still on its way? Is it?
Nah, it'll probably be a while yet, but it'll come along eventually. Kyle's sorting me out there. Good man, Kyle. Fair
I'd be
play to you, bud.
interested to see what that's like. And
Yeah, it'd be cool. You know, we'll see what comes of it. Hopefully
I
it's still
scan
the
eBay
same
every
sort
now
of.
and again, having a look for sort of old complete sets of it.
Essex is saying he can't wait to play Bull Ball. He just did a Snotling team. Are you going to be playing the previous edition Essex, or are you going to be playing the new edition rules, which I haven't even had a chance to look at?
Yeah, I have no idea how much they've changed and if it's a
I know
drastic
they've
change,
split.
a tweak.
I know they've split one of the stats. I think it's like agility. I know they've split it for some tests. So some tests are on one stat and some tests are on another. I know they've split that much. But apart from that, I don't really know much about the new rule set. Hopefully, it's mostly the same. It's just sort of more refined, but you never know, really.
I feel like if it was a drastic change, we would have heard.
Heard about it already.
Sure, we would have had people kicking off. I'm sure we would have heard a lot. I'm mad.
New
I
rule
so I
books for Blood Bowl just be like being chucked out GW store windows as soon as people purchase them. What's this
yeah,
shite?
that's it. Because it's one of the rule sets that's remained pretty consistent over the years, isn't it? It's had very little
I
done with
think
it over the
some
years.
bits have changed with Blood Bowl over the years, but all in all, it's still mostly the same kind of. You know what I mean? It's like some key elements. Like I know there wasn't turnovers in some regards in older editions of the game, but there are now, so that changes it up a bit. Drunken Orc is saying I ordered from the Kickstarter Hair Quest when they released the pre-order in Europe. Gonna be ages though, yeah, probably. So I asked someone to sort it out for me in Canada because they hadn't opened it up to Europe or the rest of the world at that stage. So my preliminary plan was get a
Yeah,
friend,
'cause at
get a
the beginning, it
friend.
was very much. It was not. I mean, they
No, it's
came
just
straight out
US and
of set,
Canada.
didn't they?
That's
Yeah, they
all.
were
That's all it
very.
was. They weren't advertising anywhere else, and people are like, "Oh, it's because they don't own the rights and all this." And I'm like, "Nah, mate, you're chatting shit." Like,
I
you
think
know.
they kind of saw the demand when everyone was so upset that they couldn't get their hands on it, didn't they? So I think they.
Jude's giving out. He says his opponents for Blood Bowl are the Imperial Nobility team and Black Orcs, Black Zogan Orcs.
I'm very much looking forward to having my first game of Blood Bowl, and very much expecting to lose because I'm playing goblins, you know. So
Yeah, but it's good crack.
yeah, I think that's pretty. I've always been sort of goblins. 'Cause I just thought that'd just be a fun team to play, you know.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Be a lot.
especially with enough inducements, you could have fun
I
with
think
the
I'll probably just
specialist
spend my
weapons.
time just trying to cause as much injuries and stuff as possible
Well, that's the way to go about it.
and
You know,
cheat and fuck
guy with
about.
the chainsaw, guy with the pogo,
Yeah,
all those ones. Getting a troll to throw your goblins and hopefully not eat them. Always
yeah,
entertainment. Especially when you've already given the goblin the ball and then you throw him and then he runs it to the back line and does a touchdown. It's like, nice. You've like a 1 in 6 chance to get it done. But when it happens, always happy days. Jude is saying he gets stomped by the Black Orcs. Well, the Black Orcs, of course, they're tough.
there's no messing about with them.
Rivets is asking, Steve, would you and the fam like a Warhammer Quest box set? Was left to me years ago. Yours if you'd like it, bud. I will never use it.
Oh wow, that's very nice of you, man.
Very generous, Rivets.
Yeah,
Nice
I've
chap.
never played Warhammer Quest. Um, I, uh, I remember a friend of mine having it. I remember looking through all the stuff and that. I know it was a bit more of an advanced kind of a thing, wasn't it, than regular Hero Quest? But yeah, certainly, man,
Be cool.
be a cool thing to have a play around with and have a look at for sure.
Definitely. Definitely. You know, those Black Orcs in the new box set look pretty good. They really do. They look cracking. So they do.
Even when I was making these goblins for my Blood Bowl, I'm like, oh, some of these heads would go really well with some of my grots. There's some cool heads and stuff in there.
Rivets is saying, I knew you like Hero Quest. PM me, bro.
Oh, cheers, Rivets, man. That's really good of you. I shall do that.
Nice. Nice.
There you go. It's been a productive evening for me.
OG Hero Quest. Warhammer Quest. One or the other. Be good fun. OG Hero Quest. The stuff of legend. Legend. Look at the muscularity.
You just can't think Hero Quest without thinking of the
Yeah,
Bard now,
Bard,
can you?
yeah.
He
Bardic
is,
broadcasts. It's
he
just
is
such a good video, man.
It is.
Such a good video. Well edited. Just the way it's acted and
yeah,
everything.
perfection. YouTube perfection.
Jude is saying, also Scar, thanks for not fuking up my gender again. Don't worry, Jude. Your name.
Apologise, Jude. Do apologise.
Yeah, Steve did it as well. Your name now reminds me of the Beatles song, which I also know you don't like, so I will forever remember you're a bloke, Jude. Don't worry.
I imagine it's been sung to him in the workplace and things, and mates jabbing him with it. I'm sure, constant.
It's like this shower of bastards. The bleeding now, I hate it. Oh, so funny. Where I just tried to cheer you up. It's like, leave me alone. Making Jude out to be like, Ebenezer Scrooge over here. Poor Jude. Slander against his good name. Slander. So yeah, we don't bleed now. I've got me little kit stomper dude. I do have the old one as well. Hold on. Let's see if we can do a. You have it there? I've got bags upon bags and miniatures.
Which one do you prefer?
Well, I'm gonna see if I can dig out the old one. I thought I had it handy here. Maybe I don't have it as handy as I thought. But clearly this
Maybe
is
when
a
you
sign
find
of
him,
a
you should do a full comparison video. That'd be
too
cool.
much crap. I did have him. Did I know? It's in a bag. My friend sent it over to me. My good friend Sci-Fi sent me over a Games Day knob.
I've seen a few comparison pics doing the rounds.
Well, I know I have it. But I only just got it a month or so ago. There he is. There he is. Right, so let's have a look, shall we? I don't know if people have been doing comparison videos. So we've got the new one, which comes with a grot. Then we have So old git. Knob comparison pics. I'm in, says Poke. I'm sure you are, but put you to shame. Put you all to shame.
I
Right.
think Roxy will be the judge of that, isn't it?
That it seems to be
That's her
her
forte.
call in life.
Come and judge knobs.
So we have the original Games Day knob, and then we have the new one. So you can see how they're kind of very similar. How this one is inspired by the other one, but that there's also differences in them. Yeah.
I think it's a beautiful update to a classic, beautiful miniature, and I think they've improved on it. I think.
So he's a little bit taller. Which is none too surprising. But I don't mind you. I think it's cool. He's a fair chunk taller than him. He's a bit bigger as well. Both are really good. Like the boat. Yeah, Poke, I know what you mean, man. I really like the old one. The new one's good as well.
Yeah, no, I really like the old one. The old one is he's
They're similar enough poses, but they're also, different enough. You can see how it was inspired, that the artwork that they're both based off of.
I think there's like little negatives with the old one that I never noticed before, but then when I see it with the new one, I'm like, oh yeah, I can see like the new one. They've just little touches they've done and just subtle refinements to it, and just
Well, no, I think the skin on the older one is more detailed on it because it's hand sculpted, and they're still using CAD. So they each have their strengths and weaknesses.
I'll have to take your word for that because I'm looking at the footage of this on my phone.
Or maybe that'll help a bit. If I brought him into focus a bit more. Yeah, I probably should do a comparison video. Just a quick one. Be like, yeah, there you go. Biddly beep. Sorted. Old one is more of a boy size.
Well, he's an old knob size, isn't he? He's a
Yeah, well, yeah, he's sculpted back in '97, mate. So
which were ever so slightly smaller than the current knobs.
knobs weren't as big back in them days.
Must be something in the drinking water or something.
Yeah, there's definitely something in the water. It's all them fluoride additives and whatever else.
There you go.
It's not natural, I tell you. Not natural. He's a
Stay
little
away
bit
from
bigger than a boy, Poke. So if you look at him, he's a little bit bigger than a boy, but there's not much in the difference. He's a little bit bigger. But then the difference between the new one and a boy, there seems to be a substantial difference in height. Jude is saying he likes the new one better, but the old one looks good in the snakebite colour. His knobs would definitely be well fed. This is true. Oh, the innuendo jokes are everywhere. I love it. This is very true.
They're never going to stop, are they? We're never going to grow up.
No, of course we're never going to grow up. We play with toy soldiers, for Christ's sakes, for the shits and giggles. We're never going to grow up.
We called our show Two Bald Knobs, for fuck's sake.
Exactly.
So.
Exactly. I can't even remember who came up with the name. Was it me? Was it you? I'm like, I don't know. I can't remember. It was one of us. We found it entertaining, though.
Yeah, it's
like we should call it Two Bald Knobs. That's bleeding genius.
Once we get out, it can't be anything else now. It's got to be that.
Because use the old one as a slug of chopper boy. I wouldn't. You know what? I
use him as a scar boy.
Yeah, you could do. I'd just paint them up as pieces to paint. You know what I mean? Just more so to paint the miniature and do it up, that sort of thing. Same with him. I wouldn't really run him in my army. I'd just sort of paint them up to have him. I suppose you could play him in a Gorka Morka mob if you wanted.
The new one, I do plan to use in my army just to be a knob leading the boys, or just go in a slugger chopper mob, just put him in there amongst all the other ones, and just because he's just a cool looking knob, just a really cool looking miniature.
This is very true. Does look a fair bit chunkier.
I think with that one, I don't know. There might a little addition of some gubbins and gear. I think he makes a really good blood axe, like commando knob or something. I think
This one?
the new one. I think he would just needs a little bit of packs of stuff on him and that, and boom,
He does
you've
have
got a,
the boss glyph. That's what this
I think
glyph is
it's
for.
the sort of pose with that backwards dagger and stuff. He's got a sort of little bit of a stealth look going on there, and
Choose the box glyph. Boss glyph. Well, if you sawed off that hat and gave him a beret, yeah, like 100%.
hmm.
But he's got a bit of the Genghis Khan look, you know, the Mongol hat style.
A little bit more on him. He's got his brown shirt on now, so getting him.
Come along nicely.
He's getting there, man. Getting there. Just getting some basic
Gio
colours on
saying
him.
he uses Gorguts to lead his knobs into battle. Yeah, could do. Could just put him in your knobs kit, or your knobs kit, your knobs unit. I'm sure he'd fit in. Wouldn't be too far out of place with the rest of them.
Oh, what is the time now? Oh, blimey, we've been going for 2 hours.
2 hours a night, enough. Yeah, he's pretty much knob size. Like even with this is an assault on black reach knob. It'd be helpful if I put it in shot. Assault on black reach knob.
He's pretty much knob size.
He's pretty much knob
That's a
size.
variable scale, if ever
I've seen a fair few knobs in my day, and he sizes up well.
He is bang on average. Nothing to be ashamed about, nothing to shout about.
There you go. Nothing to write home about, nothing to be shedding tears over. You're grand. You know? So there you go. Yeah, he's pretty
Right,
much knob size.
he's a grower. He's a grower. It's fine.
Aren't they
It
all?
might not look like much now, but you push the right buttons, you're in for a treat. All right.
That's what you tell the missus, is it? Works like a charm every time.
Cold, all right. It's cold. Fucking hell. Middle of winter here. Give me a break.
It's your motto. Winter's coming. He's sticking to it. Size matters not. We all know that, you know. We all know the type who say that. Yeah, all right, mate.
He says winter's coming. She says, yeah, that's the only thing that's fucking coming with that.
Right. Before we get banned from YouTube at this rate, I think it's probably time to wrap this one up. So we all hope you've enjoyed the showcase and you've managed to get
nipples and knobs,
nipples and knobs and innuendo jokes. I hope you've liked looking at knobs new and old, and getting a bit of paint on the old war boss. A bit more paint. You'll get there slowly. And
yeah, there you go, Gear Guts, man. Gear Guts, Kyle. I've got some paint on him, man. You know,
give us a look. Hold on.
Not a lot, but some. You know, there's some colour there. You know, he's getting there. He's getting there. I shall continue to chip away at him. No promises on when he'll be complete, though. You'll know when he's complete because I'll show him off in a video.
He'll be done when he's done. You know, but
He'll
there's
be done when
progress
he's
being done.
Yeah. I'll probably do a bit of painting on him. I'll get bored, then do a bit of painting on something else and get bored.
But this is it. I'm getting distracted with, but I'm enjoying it. You know what I mean? I'm not feeling
that's
pressure.
what I'm doing.
It's sort of...
I'm basically doing your approach to hobbying now. I'm just dipping my toe all over and having a just
like,
fun.
I've done a bit. I'll leave him for a bit. I'll come back. You know what I mean?
That's it.
It tickles me fancy. I'm in the mood to do a bit of rust. I'll go whack Gear Guts with a paintbrush. You know yourself.
There you go.
So cheers for joining in the stream, guys. The next 2 Bald Knobs episode hopefully won't be too far in the distance, and it will be on Steve-O's channel. Very optimistic on the timeline there, Steve-O. Yeah.
There you go. Under promise, over deliver. That's
it. But it's been good crack. We hope you've all had fun and got a bit of painting done, and you have had a giggle along the way. And we'll see you in the next episode. So it's goodbye from Scarnier, and don't forget to drill your barrels.
And it's 6+ signing out.
See you next time. Bye. Oh.